I think next few months could be really exciting months for real estate, whether it's good or bad. I think there are some big changes that are going to come. Let's talk about that today. Welcome back to Shawn Realty podcast. My name is Shawn, the Realty guy from Portland, Oregon. So a couple of days ago, the Fed basically said that they're not going to change the Fed funds rate. But a couple of days back, they're basically saying the job report was inaccurate. So at this point in the next meeting, September 16th, I think, they might be forced to cut the rate. Now, that should change the mortgage rate. That may not. I mean, we've seen the opposite effect of, there's no correlation, but typically mortgage rate should follow the Fed funds rate. And if that does happen in the next few months, could be pretty exciting for real estate market. And there's one example here. It says the U.S. only added about 19,000 jobs in May compared to an initial report of 144,000 jobs. Only 14,000 jobs in June after initial report of 147,000 jobs. I mean, how can you make like 90% error? I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And I think there is manipulation going on in the, the whole economy, the Fed funds rate and everything. I mean, but there's not much we can do. I don't want to get into politics here either. But all we can do is really try to look for the best opportunities within that short-term period. When we see some indicator, we can kind of predict maybe about a month, maybe about two, but more than that is just anybody's game. And so the inaccurate job report. Now the Fed, the dual mandate. One is the inflation control. The other one is the job market control, right? And so when the job market is this bad, now they have actual reason that they actually have to cut the rate so that we don't go to depression. I should say recession. So the mortgage rate, like I said, it can be independent of the Fed funds rate, but it should go with it typically. And sometimes the banks will cut the rate earlier than the Fed funds rate actually gets cut. So they could actually do a preemptive rate cut. And possibly that could be the reason why today's rate is 30-year fixed rate is a 6.375%. I think this has came down yesterday maybe. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it gets near 6% in the next about 3 weeks. That's my gut feeling. There's, based on what I know, this isn't guarantee, obviously. And the next Fed meeting is September 16th. Let me kind of go over this. So for the buyers and for the sellers. So for the buyers, if you can afford the 6.5%, in this case 6.375%, and you've been kind of on the fence whether you should buy, but the affordability is okay for you, this could be the time to strike and make that offer to a house, because right now the competition is really low. That means you may be able to get some better price, better term negotiated with the sellers, because sellers aren't getting a lot of activities as far as I can see in my market in Portland. So this could be, right before they actually cut the Fed funds rate, this could be a window where you can get a good negotiation, good price. If you have been waiting because of the rate is just too high, it doesn't make sense for your affordability. And I'm thinking about second week of September and on for about 2 to 3 months. Within that time could be a good time, because you might be able to get about close to 6% mortgage rate. I can't see lower than that, but what do I know? I'm just realtor. I mean, if it goes out to 5.75% range, that will definitely improve your home affordability. But at the same time, it will come with a price hike too. And so whoever's going to make the first move before that competition or the price go up. So it's kind of like a fine balance here for the buyers. So like going back to who can afford right now, if you can afford, this is time to strike. This is time to make offer. This is time to buy the house that you've been looking for. And if you see something you like, just go for it right now. And obviously, if you can afford it. For the seller, now, this fall could be a good time to list. Normally, I don't tell sellers to list in the fall because the market slows down, the demand goes down, the buyer pool shrinks, things slow down. I mean, big time, 20-30%. In December, it goes down to about 40% or 50% less than the normal market. But because of this sort of like anticipated Fed funds rate cut, potential lower mortgage rate, potentially home affordability improving, if the buyers are coming out, that's when you want to list. It's all about the supply and demand, nothing more, nothing less. And if there are a lot of buyers kind of pouring in, for some sellers, it may take more time. What I mean by that is, for the buyers to come out and start buying, that just takes us one day or one moment of just buyer realizing it. But for the sellers to list, it takes minimum a week. I mean, sometimes scheduling photography could take that much. Sometimes cleaning out your house can take 2 weeks. So this might be a good time if you've been thinking about selling within a year or maybe in the next 2 years. You might want to clean out your house right now because the best time to list might be coming in the next couple months. And the other way to look at it is, if you have your house on the market right now and you're not getting a lot of activity, you're not getting offers, you may take 1 month break, but I may consider like recommending just living on the market, as long as you're not losing a lot of money. Such as if you're living in the house right now, there's not much you can lose, so just go ahead and leave that on the market. I may actually have to tell one of my clients about this too, because she was going to pull off the market one of the listings. So I have a phone call to make. So going back to that, I'm not going to go into details of what I think about, what I know of, what Fed is doing. But at this point, with a bunch of talks about Jerome Powell being fired, whatnot, the number was skewed. The number was manipulated, or it was an error. I mean, when you have 90% inaccurate data and you're basing the Fed funds rate based on that, what good does it really do to people or the whole economy? And yeah, so all we can do is look for the best opportunities within what we see. And I see that right now. So going back to that, before September 16th of next meeting, more likely, some are predicting about 90% chance that the Feds will have to cut the rate. And so before this time could be the real opportunity zone for the buyers. And right around this time, probably mid-September could be a great time to list and get the home sold in a month or two. But for the buyers, once this happens, like a rate goes down, the price will jump again. It's part of the inflation too. Inflation meaning the money value going down, an asset value going up. And so hopefully you don't lose this opportunity, because once it goes up, it goes up really fast. So hope that makes sense. If you have any questions about Portland, Oregon market, about buying or selling, give me a call at 503-515-4499. If you are watching this from Florida, Tempe, Florida, give me a thumbs up and do a follow for my channel to grow so more home buyers and home sellers can see this video. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the rain in the Portland, Oregon area. Well, this is the first rain in a while, so it feels kind of weird. But thanks for watching and have a great day.